All right. Putting a bow on this over-unders that Nate and I are liking.
I could do this all day, man. I love this.
I could too.
I love it.
I considered going today's show essentially just like an hour of blocking off and just doing division by division and doing over-unders. But I thought we might not have thoughts on every single team and then like schedule, like it's okay. Atlanta Falcons 9.5. Okay, well, what's this Falcon schedule and things? And once we're starting talking about having a big debate, Falcons, they're definitely going over 9.5, and then Saints, they're definitely going under 8.5. It just gets a little bit nitpicky and it's a bit much. So I thought this was a little bit more efficient way of doing it. And I will have to say this one's going to hurt, but this is how you know that I am really picking these with my eyes. I'm using my head and I'm not using my heart. Minnesota Vikings. Over under listed at 7. Under. Under.
What about 6.5?
Probably still do the under.
Yeah.
I think that there is a decent chance. I don't know if I'll say good, but I'll say there's a decent chance that the Vikings get the first pick in the draft. I think there is a definite scenario here where, unfortunately, we waste 2 years of Justin Jefferson's career. Sam Darnold is not the guy. And maybe he's not terrible, but we're talking about actively winning games. I just don't know if I see it, especially with no relief. We have Nick Mullins as our backup quarterback.
That's how the Niners got Nick Bosa.
It is. No, there's nothing wrong with it, especially like the Vikings. I mean, especially with this draft, too. You get the number 1 pick in the draft, you get Travis Hunter. Like that could be franchise changing, to get a guy who can play receiver and cornerback if he's going to do that at the pro level. There's some really good prospects. You can even trade it. I mean, the Vikings, all indications are that they're very, very happy with J.J. McCarthy. Even if they were to get the first pick in the draft, they would not look to take a quarterback. We can trade it. We've seen the Panthers, what they were willing to give up for the number 1 pick. Maybe just maybe the Vikings get the worst pick in the draft or the best pick in the draft, I guess, and use that to potentially get a trade and build them for the future, because they don't need another quarterback. They don't need to take a Shedeur Sanders or a Cam Ward, whoever it's going to be that ends up being the number 1 quarterback. I'm going under on the Vikings 7. I think 6.5, I'm taking the under as well. I just think with Sam Darnold at the helm, there's no way this team is going to be above 500. And I would definitely bet if the Bears are going to be talked about as a 9.5 over-under team, the Vikings in that division with the Bears, Lions, and Packers, there's no way. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to go with the under on that one. Pittsburgh Steelers, this is almost as crazy as the Bears. This is all Mike Tomlin. 8.5? 8.5 is the Steelers' number. The only reason, and I mean the only reason, that you could justify putting the over on this 8.5 is literally the fact that Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season. And that's a pretty good reason, but at some point here, it's going to come to an end. Mike Tomlin, while he is a fantastic football coach, is not a miracle worker. He cannot just snap his fingers and say, we're going to be 500 or just above it. There's a world where it is possible for Mike Tomlin to go under 500. I'm sorry, under 500. And I think that world is this world this season. You got Russell Wilson as your quarterback. Yikes. You got Justin Fields as his backup. Look out. George Pickens is their number 1 receiver. He can't figure out how to get 2 feet in bounds, or else he'd be the best receiver in the NFL. He doesn't want to block. Their running backs are Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren. And Nate, you told me somebody yesterday is in their backfield now too. But the Steelers, they're fine. They're okay.
I totally forgot too.
I can't remember who
he played for. Really got
it was somebody yesterday, right? And I think it was the Steelers. It was Cordero Patterson.
Yes,
it was Cordero Patterson.
I just see him. We talked about this yesterday. I just see him as a receiver.
Yeah,
for still.
I mean, he is a receiver. He just has played running back because he was not a good receiver.
Yeah,
and he was on the Falcons.
Kind of put some weight on too.
Yeah, well, if you're going to be a running back, you're going to take a couple more hits. But he's there, and I think he's still their kick returner as well. So we'll see how that goes. As earlier, I was talking about the new kickoff rules and how that might impact the NFL season. I'm smashing the under for
On
the Steelers.
Steelers, yeah.
It's got to be. This
Yeah.
has to be the year. 9 wins for this team. The Bengals are going to be better. You know, I think the North is still tough. The Ravens are still going to be a tough team. The Browns, there's no reason why the Browns won't be as good as they were last year. I'm going under on the Steelers. 8.5 is just too high for me.
I got
sorry.
one for you here.
Yeah.
This is the lowest predicted win total of any team. It's a team that drafted a rookie quarterback
This season.
in the AFC East.
Huh.
They used to be really good every single year, always.
Yeah.
Patriots.
Yeah.
They are 4.5. What are you taking on that? Because I'm kind of leaning towards the under because, again, tough division.
4.5.
They have to play the Dolphins, Bills, and Jets each twice. Those are probably all losses. Maybe they grab one win. But I think they most likely get swept by their division. They have Jacoby Brissett starting. Drake May probably get to run at some
He'll play
point.
by the end of the year, but who knows if that makes them any better. According to Gerard Mayo, actually, he's already said Drake May has played better than Jacoby Brissett.
And why did they start Brissett?
That is the question. That's the question
disaster.
of the day. Yeah, I mean, Ramondre is their backup, or I'm sorry, is their running back. Who is their number one receiver? Even I mean, Kendrick Bourne's hurt.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, who is their number? Like Juju's not on that squad anymore. I don't think I know who the Patriots' number one receiving option is. Forget, like, are they still eating off the Hunter Henry contract that they signed? That was terrible all those years ago. What they signed like Hunter Henry and
we could get
Delaney Walker. So they signed like somebody. It was
they have
it was some random other tight end that they absolutely bagged out.
Demario Douglas, Jalen Polk, KJ Osborne. Those are their receivers.
Look, I love KJ Osborne. He was a great third receiver for the Vikings, but
shouldn't be starting.
He should not be a number one. He can maybe be a number 2, but I'm thinking he's like a Juwan Jennings. Like he's a good player, but
he's like
he's
Kendrick
good in his
Bourne.
role. He's like they have like 5 Kendrick.
We
Bournes.
should get, if we need more info on this, we can get our old friend Nick Cattles to give us a little breakdown on the Patriots.
Oh, I'm sure he would love it. I'm sure he would love to talk about a terrible Patriots team.
Yeah.
And let's move on now to the I have the unders that I like as the Bears under 9, Vikings under 7, Steelers under 8.5. The overs that I liked, Rams over 8.5, Broncos over 6. And now let's move on to the team with the local ties. San Francisco 49ers and the Las Vegas Raiders. Let's start off with the Raiders. Why not? Let's give the Raiders hopefully some love here. The Raiders number is a number. This is a number that I hate, to be honest with you. I know I just said it with the Vikings, but 6.5 for the Raiders. It's a really good number. That's a really good number.
They know how to get you.
I'm somebody who's a little bit less, I guess I would be pessimistic for the Raiders season. I don't think that Gardner Minshew and Zamir White make me feel like that offense is going to move quite a bit. Their defense is great. It is. But 7 wins, like I said earlier, that's like the most I can see it. And it's not that I don't see that happening. It's just I can't see it being much better than that. I think I'll have to go under. If I have to pick one, I'll go under. For what it's worth, the money line on it, or not the money line on it, but the odds on it, if you were to take the under, you do get plus money. So clearly the money is more so, as it is the Las Vegas Raiders. Let's not forget the money seems to be on the over. 6.5, that's minus 140. So you're not even getting your typical minus 110 odds on that. So, I mean, good for the Raiders. People a little bit more optimistic than I am, but I'm going under 6.5. And then for the Niners, another really tough number. They're at 11. Hard 11. Not 11.5, not 10.5. So you get the push at 11. What the Niners last season, this to me is the argument. The Niners had season of their lives last year, won 12 games.
13.
I see 12-5.
Was it 12?
I see 12-5.
Man,
according to ESPN.
I don't know anything.
Those the 3 straight losses, the loss to the Ravens, and then what was the 5th loss?
Oh, you know what? It was that last Rams game that didn't matter.
Oh, yeah, nobody cared.
That's why
literally nobody cared about that game. Spiritually, sure. But 12, but that's where they'll get you, Nate. That exact way is how they'll get you. Season's wrapped up, ain't got nothing to worry about. What if we just drop a game here?
What if we did Sam Darnold versus Carson Wentz?
What if? What if?
That'd be funny.
What this year? What would it be? It would be
Jimmy?
Brandon Allen Jimmy against Josh Dobbs.
Or
better than last year.
Yeah, I guess Dobbs.
I don't know if they've released. I guess they just released the unofficial depth chart. He might be the number 2. I actually don't know. I didn't see who they officially listed as their number 2. But 11 for the Niners. That's the argument against it.
It's Brandon Allen.
Brandon Allen. Okay, there you go.
According to
Brock Purdy goes
the
down.
4-letter.
There you go. I don't know. 11's tough with everything we've talked about here recently, with the energy maybe not being the same. But now everybody's back. Everybody's practiced today. 11's a tough number. Let's do it. Let's ride it.
Over.
We'll go over. We'll say 12 because they have to hit the 12. And again, you get I like the 11 push because 11 to me, 10 can happen. 10's the floor, I think, for this Niner squad. 11 can definitely happen, but you get the push. So I think
14.
I'm okay. I think I'm okay. You said 14?
Yeah.
You can probably get some, if you want to do that, you can probably get some juice number off that.
Might take a look.
Yeah. Me and Nate going down to Reno tonight. It would have to be tonight. I think. Yeah. Yeah.
You can't do it. Oh, yeah. I don't know.
No, not legally. So there you go. There you have it. I like the over, and I'm sure Nate does as well, on the Niners over 11. You do get plus odds if you want to, again, do the under 11. That's going to be plus 115. But I like the over. I like the over 11 for the Niners. I do unfortunately like the under for the Raiders at 6.5. Like the under for the Steelers at 8.5. Like the under for the Vikings at 7. Like the under for the Bears at 9. Love it for 9.5 if you can find it. Broncos over 6 and Rams over 8.5. So there you go. There you have it.